Welcome folks. Today's video, we're going to talk about getting hitched. Stay tuned. Folks, let me give you some information on what I have. I have a 2014 Toyota Tundra. Nothing special about it. Everything is stock on the truck. Has a 9,600 pound capacity in towing. I have a Reese Pro Series hitch. The hitch has a 12,000 pound capacity with 1,000 pounds of capacity of tongue weight. And my rig, if you've seen my videos before, is a 2018 StarCraft launch. Now this camper weighs 6,100 pounds, but I usually have water on board, so that's going to add about 300 pounds to this. So we're talking anywhere 6,400 to 6,500 pounds plus all my gear. So we're talking probably close to 7,000 pounds going down the road. Now I know a lot of people, if you've watched some videos, said you cannot tow that with a half-ton truck, or they wouldn't be comfortable towing that with a half-ton truck. Well, I'll tell you where everything starts is right here at your hitch. Now let me remind you, whatever the weight specs are on your truck, that is the weight specs. So if your truck says you can tow 7,500 pounds, no matter how much springs you put on it, no matter how much timbering systems, airbags, capacity is 7,500 pounds. It is not going to increase with more springs or more airbags. It is still 7,500 pounds. All right, folks, now this camper requires a 2 5/16 size ball. That is what is on this hitch. Now, little history. I've had an RV since 1996, but I've only had a weight hitch for probably, I think, the last 6 years, 7 years. For the first 15 years of towing, I never used a weight hitch because the camper didn't require one. I had a series of pop-ups, and when I went to the big hard sides, it's when I got the weight hitch. And I had to do my homework to figure out, you know, what was the best way to use them and everything. And I've run on to experts at various campgrounds throughout the area that have showed me how they use theirs. And today I'm going to show you how I use mine. So first, I'm going to lower the camper down onto the hitch. My camper's on the hitch, and I'm going to lock the hitch on. Now, in order to get a good weight balance, because your hitch, how a weight hitch works, it works as a bridge. You have your trailer and you have your truck. And if you just put the weight of the trailer onto the hitch, it's going to bring your truck down, lift your front up, and it can actually affect your steering going down the road. It will affect how your trailer tows behind your truck. By putting the weight hitch on, you're actually putting springs in the middle where you're bridging the weight further to the back of the camper and further to the front of the truck, and that's why they call it a weight distribution hitch. And that is what we're going to be doing today. I'm going to show you how I do mine. First things I want to show you is I'm going to do a tape measure, and we got right now 7.5 inches from the top of my tire to the bottom of my fender. And the reason why I'm showing you that is I'm going to lift the truck up in the air with this hitch. Now I've lifted quite a ways, and you can hear the motor on the left bear right down. So now we've went up 1.5 inches from where we started. Put the torsion bars on. Now these torsion bars are the key to your weight hitch. These slide into my hitch, and they're going to be chained to the frame of the camper, and they're going to be that bridge when you lift up on the back. And when I put this hitch down to the bars are going to be the bridge on that camper. Now we have a series of links in the chain here, and when I first started out I used to do 2 links, go onto the hook onto the 3rd one. I'm now hooking onto the 4th one, and the reason why I did that, towing through the Adirondacks, you get a lot of curves and narrow roads, so your speed is not all that high. But once you get on the interstate and you start traveling at 60 miles an hour, 65 miles an hour, and you start to feel the wind on these campers. And I went to, when I went downstate on a kayaking trip on Interstate 81, I actually had to, it was a rather windy day, and I pulled off into a rest area and actually added another link to tighten things down, and boy would it made a difference going down the road, just that one more link. So this link is going to fit onto here. And we're going to pin it so it doesn't come off. Now that looked fairly easy. It looked fairly easy putting that up there, but because I have the truck up 1.5 inches higher than where we started, it makes things a lot easier on here. And that's what what you want to do, is you want to lift up your back of your vehicle, your tow vehicle, as high as you can get it, and then put your torsion bars on. Now I got both bars on, and now I'm going to bring the truck down, and we'll measure again on the wheels. Alright, the jack is just off the block, and now I'm going to do my chain there. Now the reason why I cross my chains is if the camper ever does come unhooked, the hitch is going to fall onto the chains, and the chains are going to keep that hitch up off the roadway if it ever comes unhooked. That is the idea of the safety chains, and I see a lot of people going down the road without safety chains, and trust me, you need them. The other thing is, I see people put them on the outside of their torsion bars. You put them on the outside of your torsion bars, and I don't think they would have the same effect if you came apart, if your vehicles came apart. I think on the other side of the torsion bars, I think your tongue is going to be free to fall right to the road. And the idea is not to have your tongue hit the road. So that's why you cross your safety chains, and I twist them to keep them up. So pulling out of gas stations and stuff like that, they don't drag on the road, or you don't get that little dinging noise going down the road because you got a link that keeps bouncing off the road. Now remember, when we first set the trailer on, it was 7.5 inches. We dropped to 6.25, so we dropped with the weight hitch on by 1.25 inches from where the truck was. Last thing I put on is my sway control. Now this sway control works pretty goddamn well. When I first got it, I wasn't sure what to expect with it. But it works pretty well. And to tighten it up, give it a few turns, and I slightly just snug it into place. Now you'll hear the camper, I'll hear the camper when I pull in the campgrounds make a groaning sound, and it's this sway hitch that is moving back and forth. Now a couple things to remember with these hitches. If you go into a campground and it's going to be tight, take your hitch off. It is not good to jackknife or do a 90-degree with these bars on. You will pull these right off your frame. Usually when I go into a campground, I pop my bars off just in case, and right after I sign in, I take my bars off real quick. I just take the pressure, lift the truck up a little bit, take the bars right off. I don't want to risk my hitch trying to back into a campsite that is 90 degrees, and you got to watch out for trees on each side and worry about your hitch too. So there you have it, folks. That's how I hitch up my camper. Right, wrong, indifferent, I don't know, but I have been towing with a weight hitch for 6-7 years now, and I have not had any incidents. I am careful. I'm not a speed demon. When going through the Adirondacks, there's a lot of windy roads, narrow roads, so I am not hauling ass, so to speak. On the interstate, it's the fastest I go is about 65 miles an hour. But like I say, if you're going to get into tight pinches with this, take your hitch right off, because it's a lot better doing it that way. Let's talk a little bit about the half-ton pickups. There's videos on YouTube of people saying, watch this video before towing with a half-ton truck. And they're talking about getting an F250, 350, 2500 HD. You saw my truck out here. It's a 2014 Toyota Tundra. I've had great success with it. It's got a 9,600 pound towing capacity. You gotta remember that the tongue weight on the truck doesn't exceed the weight of everything you throw into that truck. So if you carry a generator in the back, and you carry firewood in the back, and you carry a bunch of other stuff in the back, all that weight is going to affect how you tow. Now, a lot of the stuff I carry, the only thing I carry in the back of my truck is generator and a tank of gas for the generator. Now, I've had people say, hey, just put some airbags on, put the timbering system in, then you're fine. Whatever your vehicle manufacturer says is the weight capacity of that truck, that is what it is. No springs, no airbags, no timbering system is going to change that number. I've done a lot of research on this, a lot of articles in magazines like this, online, and you just cannot change the weight rating of your truck. As a matter of fact, I've got a new sticker on the side of on the door jamb of my truck. When I put my deer catcher on the front, since it was permanently mounted, it changed the weight rating of my truck. So they had to lower the weight rating because that deer catcher was permanently installed. So don't let anyone fool you when they say, oh, you can just put on extra springs or airbags. Airbags will help you keep your truck level, from being sagged in the back. Timberings will help you do that. Extra springs will do that, but that does not give you any more weight to carry down the road. So if you have a half-ton truck and you are buying an 11,000 pound camper to tow, you're not going to do it. This is about the max that you would want to go with a half-ton truck. Like I said, this camper is 6,100 pounds. I do carry water because I boondock a lot, so you're talking 64, and with all my gear, the kayak I carry inside the camper, we're talking 7,000 pounds. The truck capacity is 9,600. And I don't like to run right at the same capacity as the truck, but so this is about as big as you're going to get, 26 foot. Other than that, like I say, that's my hitch. That's how I do it. Right, wrong, indifferent, you can comment below. So if you like the video, give me a thumbs up, Subscribe to the channel to follow the adventure. Thanks for watching.